Alright, so Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott has been relieved of his duties after 9 years. It's a headline we all saw this morning. It's not really a headline that I like to see, for a few reasons. The first of all being, I like Sean McDermott. I'm 20, I've been watching the Bills for at least 12 years now, and Sean McDermott was in charge for 9 of those years. And I like having him around. He's one of those guys, he gets the city of Buffalo. He gets the fans. He understands how much Bills Mafia mean to the people of Buffalo and the entire fan base as a whole. And he's a good coach. I mean, he's not a perfect coach, obviously. Like anyone, he has his flaws. But that doesn't change the fact that prior to McDermott joining the Bills had one winning season in 12 years. Not only did he bring them to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, but he continued to make the playoffs. For 8 of the 9 years he was there. Which that in itself means something. How many times do we see teams be on the brink of a playoff team, they make it 1 year, they take a few steps back. To be a playoff team consistently, after being in the doldrums for nearly 2 decades, that doesn't just happen to anyone. Of course he had a generational quarterback in Josh Allen. But even Josh Allen has exceeded expectation. He wasn't the first pick in the draft. Far from it. He wasn't even scouted out of high school. So I really like Sean McDermott as a person and as a coach, and I'm sad to see him go. However, unfortunately with football, you don't always use your heart, you use your head. So, what's my head tell me, what's my heart tell me after this? Part of me thinks that moving on with Sean McDermott, there's a bit of sense to it, in the sense that he got us to the playoffs. He's done very well to keep us there. But does he have it in him to go all the way and win a Super Bowl? Maybe not. We won't know. Maybe not. But for me, it's not the fact they got rid of Sean McDermott. It's how they went about doing it and why they went about doing it. For me, the Bills have needed a bit of change for a while. For me, the general manager and the owners just aren't ambitious enough. The rest of the league sees us as a Super Bowl contender. So why haven't we given Josh Allen an elite wide receiver to replace Stephon Diggs? We tried with Keon, and I love Keon Coleman. Let's make that very clear. I've always cheered for him. I'll continue to cheer for him. But I don't think it's unreasonable to say that he hasn't shown to be an elite wide receiver yet. I think he'll get there one day, I really do. But I don't think he's our option right now. For me, Sean McDermott wasn't given enough to work with. If they did a full upheaval, they said, you know what, we're starting from square one. We're changing the direction of this franchise. We're taking this seriously. The entire coaching staff is going, and we're going to find new people. And Sean McDermott was collateral damage. That would be one thing. But they only got rid of him. I don't really think Sean McDermott was necessarily a problem or hindering us. But there's no way he was a problem in hindering us more than our GM. I just wrote down a few things here, because I'm not going to know them off the top of my head. We're not going to go into too many stats. It's not really that type of video. But if you look at Buffalo right now, yeah, Buffalo, New York, it's no Miami, right? But the Buffalo Bills have no reason to not be a prime landing spot for any elite player. We have an MVP quarterback who's very much still in his prime, in the best fan base in America. What more could you ask for? In 2025, Devontae Adams joined the Rams. In 2025, Christian Kirk joined the Texans. In 2024, Mike Evans re-signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 2023, Juju Smith-Schuster signed with the New England Patriots as a free agent. And DeAndre Hopkins joined the Titans as a free agent. And also, Jacoby Myers joined the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024. You can't tell me that any of those landing spots were better than the Buffalo Bills. Okay, yeah, I get it. The Texans are a good team. So are the Rams. But we're losing players. That could be the difference. Who's to say a player like Jacoby Myers or Christian Kirk couldn't be the difference? We're losing players to the Jags. To the Raiders. To the 2023 New England Patriots. Not the current New England Patriots, who are in the AFC Championship and are probably going to make the Super Bowl because Bo Nix is hurt. Not the current New England Patriots, and not Tom Brady's New England Patriots. We're talking about the 2023 New England Patriots. Players are choosing to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers I'm a massive Baker Mayfield fan. I like the Bucs a lot. But there's no reason we couldn't at least have stuck our neck out and gone for that one. I'm not saying I expect us to sign every single player in that list. But what if we just gave a better try for at least one of them? Who's to say we'd be in a different place as a franchise right now? We have good tight ends. We have the best quarterback and running back in the league. We've always had a very good solid defense when they're all healthy. For me, it's not a problem with certain decisions, with certain calls. Okay, yeah, dodgy call against Denver. I've never wanted to scapegoat. It's never been that for me. There's a lack of ambition from the higher-ups at this football team, and that to me is a serious problem. We have the best fans in any American sport. I'm biased. I don't care. That's what I believe, and that's what a lot of people believe as well. But you have a fan base who don't care about anything more than their football team. You have a generational quarterback in Josh Allen. Do you know how many of the teams would kill for that? How many teams haven't found a good quarterback in decades? How many other teams, we just need a quarterback. We're that team for a while. We just need a quarterback. We have our quarterback now. We've had a quarterback for the better part of a decade now. How many teams would do anything to see their parking lots full before every game and the stadiums full from the kickoff to the end of the fourth quarter? Buffalo has that. Buffalo's always had that. I've been watching this team my whole life. I've seen some darker days than this. I remember Nate Peterman. I remember Rex Ryan. Okay? But it didn't matter. I've been to Bills games. Like, the parking lot's always full. The tailgates are always going. The energy's always in the stadium. That doesn't change. There isn't a set of fans more deserving. And it's not because players don't want to join us. It's because we're not even trying. And by we, I mean the Pagula family. And that's not on McDermott. I'm not saying McDermott's the best coach in the world, and if we stuck with him, we'd win the Super Bowl. He's had a few chances, I'll be honest. But I am saying that there's only so much McDermott and the players can do. This is coming from the higher-ups. All I'm asking is they stick their neck out and try to get pen to paper next time an elite receiver is a free agent. And I'm not going to dwell on that too much, because that could be a video in itself of all the receivers the Bills didn't get. We didn't want Diggs because he was causing problems with the owners. Okay. Name me an elite wide receiver that doesn't have a screw loose. It's not the fact we got rid of Diggs, to be honest. I think getting rid of Diggs made sense where we were. It's the fact we didn't replace him. Okay, we tried with Keon. That was a good draft pick. That made sense at the time. But after that rookie season, we knew he wasn't going to be the number one choice. I love him to be one day. It's just not going to happen. It didn't happen this year, and it's just not going to happen next year. I'm not saying we need Jamar Chase. I'm not saying we need to have the best in every single position. We're not talking about a Triple Crown winning wide receiver. We're talking about a Christian Kirk. We're talking about a Jacoby Myers. This could be the difference. It seems like we're just signing backups. We're signing players when it's too late. We're bringing Brandon Cooks halfway through the season. We're bringing Amari Cooper halfway through the season. There's no long-term plan. It seems like we're always just scrambling. We're always clutching at straws. And I know this video is all over the place. There's no script, believe it or not. This is just my thoughts. Again, I'm not saying these are all correct. This is my opinion. You might agree, you might disagree. What we have to look at, because there's no point dwelling on the past. I never like dwelling on the past. We have to look at what this means moving forward. Who's next for Sean McDermott? Because I know Sean McDermott is a bit... Bills fans have mixed feelings on him. I've always liked him. And I know for a fact a lot of other Bills fans have always liked him. It doesn't matter. If you have a coach that has achieved so much as he has. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but if you look at where the Bills were when he joined and where they were when he left, players aren't retiring at halftime anymore. That's a positive thing. If you look at someone that has brought a team to where he has in the time he's been at this team, and you get rid of him, you better find a good replacement. That was the main thing for me. If Nick Sirianni was out of a job and we had to go for him, go for it. For me, he's the best coach in the NFL. He's from Buffalo, but that's not going to happen, right? In that ideal world, maybe, but for me, I don't know who the replacement would be. I wrote down a few. I've already talked about how Buffalo's prime real estate. Whoever takes over from McDermott is going to get a prime Josh Allen, who just had an MVP season last year, and the best fan base in the league. Clint Kubiak would be my number one choice. Like Clint Kubiak. I keep looking down because I don't know how to pronounce his name. I promise I know who Clint Kubiak is. If we have someone like him come in, that could do wonders. And I know that Seattle will probably going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion at least. so it's going to be tough convincing him to leave. But at the same time, a head coach job is a head coach job. Also, similarly, if we don't get Kubiak, I wouldn't mind seeing Robert Saleh on the touchline next year. I've always kind of cheered for him, in spite of the New York Jets. I think they shouldn't have fired him. I think he's done well at San Francisco. It's a tough job right now, the 49ers. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to deal with. To have someone like Nick Bosa, who you built the defense around, not be available, it's not what you want as a defensive coordinator, is it? But I'd be happy with either of them. What I don't want to see is us panic. But equally, I don't want us to rush it. I don't want to see Mike McDaniels on the touchline at New Highmark Stadium next year. I do not want that to happen. I don't want to see 44,000-year-old Pete Carroll on the touchline at New Highmark next year. I don't want to panic and pick someone up just because no one else wants them. But I do want to be quick. And I want them to be good. And you might think, okay, I don't want to panic, but I want to be quick. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm correct, and these are all rumored, so it could be wrong, I believe Kubiak spoke to the Jets today, which I don't think that's true. I mean, he's probably focused on winning the NFC Championship right now. And I'm pretty sure Robert Saleh spoke to the Raiders today. Again, these are just rumors, they're not confirmed. But even if it's not those specific teams, there's a lot of teams that are coach right now. And there's a lot of teams that are going to want to go for them. And there's desirable landing spots as well. The thing is, we have to find something good. And we're going to have to stick our neck out. I know I keep saying that, but I want to see more ambition to wrap things up. I want to see more ambition in this football team. Because that's what the fans deserve. I think the past 2 years we've just kind of made do of what we have. But no, we have no reason to not be contending for the Super Bowl every year. If you look at the players we have no reason to not be going for players like Devontae Adams when they're available. We have no reason to not be going for coaches like Clinton Kubiak and Robert Saleh if we have the chance to. So for me, to wrap things up, I'm going to miss Sean McDermott. I like him a lot. When we made the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, when I was 12, that's awesome. I remember that day forever. And that was McDermott. We made the AFC Championship, win the division 5 years in a row, that was McDermott. And I'll always remember him for that, and I'll always be grateful, and I'll never have anything bad to say about him. However, if we want to take the franchise in a new direction, I'm willing to have that conversation. I just want to do it properly, to give it a proper go, and I think the way forward is to show more ambition. So, Bakulas, if you're watching this, I know you watch all my videos, so get on that. I'm also out of a job, so if you want me on the touchline, I'm pretty good at Madden, so I'm actually not good at Madden. But anyway, go Bills. I'll always believe in this team. It doesn't matter how many times they hurt me. It doesn't matter how many times we go out in the most heartbreaking fashion imaginable. I'll always believe in the Buffalo Bills. And a small part of me will always believe we're going to win the Super Bowl. And if it ever doesn't, then it's not the experience I want to be a part of. So go Bills! Let's see what the future has to bring. I'm ready to be heard again.